clip. Oh, he is now under the table, you see. I need a catch cup. So today we will actually be doing a pretty significant thing, because these are my final bigger tarantulas that are in plastic boxes, and we will be moving them into glass enclosures, which means that I will achieve the goal that I wanted to reach for a very long time, of having all bigger tarantulas actually in glass enclosures. So that's a big deal. And I finally bought replacement light bulbs for the scorpions. So let's quickly just attach those, which will make this whole setup look much better. So this is one, and the second one. The reason why I'm using light bulbs for the scorpions is because they provide heat in the same time together with light. So there's the idea to heat the scorpions, because they need a bit warmer temperatures. Yeah, this looks now better with all lights shining. You see? Pretty good, right? So let me grab all the tarantulas that we will be rehousing. We have these, also this one. This is a predatory beetle, and we will move this centipede that is still alive and kicking. You will see her later. I won't be moving the beetle out of this box, and also I won't be moving the sand spiders, because they have quite potential venom, so I don't really feel safe to keep them in enclosure that opens on front, because there is always a chance that I don't close it correctly, or that spider bolts outside, or I just don't want to risk it with this species. Same thing why I have scorpions that got really potent venom. I got them in these enclosures that cannot be opened in front. You need to open them on top like this, you see. And at the same time, scorpions cannot climb the glass, so that is super safe. And also these cannot climb glass, so it would also be safe to keep them inside of these enclosures. But I need to build those in order to keep these. But all bigger tarantulas will have the glass enclosures, and that is the goal. Also, in the same time, this video will have another goal. Let me explain. A few videos ago I built this background for Devil the Second, you know, my centipede. And it is actually a really sweet technique where you cover the styrofoam with glue for tiles, and then you paint it over with different colors to get this kind of naturalistic look, you see. The background is actually black, and then on top of that I applied yellow paint to get this finish, and it looks pretty sweet. This was the first attempt where you can still see the glue, but it looked really bad. And then after that I applied a bit of black paint, and now it looks a bit better, but definitely the base paint needs to be darkened than the highlights, you see. Here it is reverse, it is white background with black highlights, so it definitely looks worse than this, but I think that we can get this to look even better. That is why I bought different colors of paint. You see, I have black and yellow that I used in Devil's Enclosure. Then I also bought gray, cream color, or I don't know, and also green to kind of get an appearance of moss on the background. I don't know. We will experiment with different combinations, because we need to build 5 different backgrounds. I mean 5 backgrounds, so all of them will have different combinations, and we will see which one looks best, or maybe each of them will have its own flavor, so there will be a bigger variety with backgrounds in my enclosures. Because honestly, even though I really like the ones that I have now, I like the appearance of dirt on the background. What I don't like is that all of my enclosures look the same with that, and there is no variety, while with these different colors, I think that it should look a bit better, a bit more interesting. The tarantulas that we will be rehousing in this video will be this Thrixopelma pruriens, a really sweet mature male. Then this freshly molted Lasiodora difficilis male. It is not the mature male, but it is a male. That's a bit unfortunate, but I already got the female, so it is not a biggie. And the last tarantula will be this Monocentropus balfouri. Can you see it? Yeah, this is also a male, but also the same thing, it is not the mature male. I'm waiting for this guy to mature so I can release him in the communal enclosure, so he can get some quality time with my female so we can expand the communal setup. Then we will also rehouse this I mean, you cannot really see it, but down there we have a centipede, a blue centipede that I caught together with my father when I was visiting him. So this one will also be moved into a glass enclosure. And finally, this Egyptian predatory beetle. And there is a bit of unfortunate thing because, you know, I bought 2 Egyptian predatory beetles and I also bought another predatory beetle that is not some different species, a bit bigger one. And I was really hyped for that because that one is bigger and got really big jaws. But unfortunately, it just died after a few weeks. I only managed to record 1 feeding video with it. I believe that's the case. And that's it. I didn't even get to rehouse it or anything. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure if their care is completely like the care for Egyptian predatory beetles, because there were no information on the internet. I couldn't find any information for that specific species. So I kept it as I keep this one, but unfortunately it just died. I don't know if it was old or not. But you know, I had 4 Egyptian predatory beetles in past and I had them for a long time, so they are super easy to care for, so I don't really think that I missed anything, unless they have some really specific care that differs from this beetle. Anyhow, first thing that we need to do, we need to cut the styrofoam to appropriate dimensions, and then we cover it with glue, paint it a couple of times, and we can install it. Yeah. The height of the background will be 15 centimeters. So you need a couple of strips of that, and even though this won't be a tutorial video on how to do background, I will explain every step. So in case you want to build this background for yourself, you will be able to learn that in this video. Here is the first one, and I believe that I can make 2 out of that one. Yeah, 19 centimeters. Yeah, 19 centimeters. So we need 3 more of these. There we go, 5 blocks already. Of course, if you are doing a background for your enclosure, you need to measure the inside of your enclosure minus few millimeters and then cut to those dimensions. Don't cut to dimensions that I cut, because this is for my enclosures. Although soon, pretty soon, I think that I will start with the production. I mean, I am working to start the mass production of those enclosures, because I ordered a production of mold where you inject the plastic so you can create plastic parts like this one that I'm 3D printing, but the ones that are injected like that are far more sturdier, and I can mass produce them far more quicker than 3D printing them. So that means kinda soonish you can expect that, probably in August. I'm looking to bring them together with myself in the US. Anyhow, more information about when I'm done with that. Now, we need to carve the background, because with more details on the background, more bumps and crevices, the background will look better. For that, the process is also straightforward. You just cut and pull the stuff outside. You can first draw the shape that you would like to carve, but I never really do that because I'm always just going randomly. Because nature is random, so if you do stuff randomly, it will look more naturalistic. So that's the idea. You just take your cutting blade and go to town. And of course, fresh blade helps to cut everything more easier, because this is really messy job, and if you have a dull blade you will do just even bigger mess. So fresh blade, and watch your fingers, of course. I always try to curve the top, while bottom I leave intact, because bottom will be covered with substrate anyway. And this is basically it. If you add more details it will look better. Also, you can get a thicker styrofoam, then your grooves can be much deeper and it will look better. And also on top you can put expanding foam first and carve that. That is how I did the background for the devil. That way the background will look even better, because you can have stuff protruding outside, just like some real rock or something. And the final one, now to clean all this mess, now to mix the tile glue. I mean, it is nothing special, it comes in a form of powder, and you just add a bit of water to it until you get the consistency that you like. And to be honest, I don't really know how much water I need. I just eyeball it until it feels right. You see, this is definitely not enough. I need an actual spoon, this won't work. And this now seems a bit too watery, so I will add a bit more powder. Okay, this is now perfect. You see, you want to get something like this, and of course that my spoon fell inside completely, so I need to go and wash my hands. Okay, let's do this. Again, the procedure is super simple. You just apply it with a paintbrush on the actual background, like this. And that's it. You just smear it around and make sure that the layer is just not too thick, because it will break once it starts to dry. You can always reapply another layer once the first one is dry. And voila! Only a few minutes later, first background is done. I can set it to dry and continue with the rest. And we are done, quick and efficient. So one time jump, the glue is dry. So this is the end result. You see, what I like about this is that it adds a bit of durability to the background. Unlike when you apply silicone, tarantulas can often nibble on the edges, destroying it in the process. But this adds a bit more durability, and you can add more layers if you want to make it even more durable. So that's a good thing. Now we need to cover the base with black paint, and also, so I will paint two with black paint as a base. I will leave this one with just base color, and I will paint two with the gray paint, and we will see which one will look better with more layers on top. Okay, let's do that. And in case you're wondering what is the type of paint that I'm using, these are the acrylic paints for the, how it's called, the, not cement, but when you mix cement you get concrete. Yeah, these are acrylic paints for concrete. First I will paint the black ones. Okay, now comes the gray one, but I need to wash the brush first, right? Okay, this is done. Honestly, this gray paint seems a bit too light or something, but I will see how it will look once it dries. And later on, if I want to make a background with darker shade, I can just add a black color to it and it will be a darker shade. So that is all right, but we will see how this will now look. Another time jump. Now with base paint dry, we proceed to apply the highlights, and that is called dry brushing. Dry brush, because essentially what you do, you take a bit of paint, you see, like this, and then you dry that brush, you see, like this. So essentially there is paint left on the brush, but it is not normal or whatever. And what you do, you take the background and you just go like this, you see. And I think that I dried the brush a bit too much. There we go. You see the result. Now the background is no longer that plain looking like this side, you see. It got like some sort of highlights, even though in Devil's Enclosure I used yellow paint, and now I think that yellow maybe even looks better. It's hard to tell. We will see that later once it's dry. We will compare all backgrounds. There we go, first background is done. Just compare it how better it looks than just base paint, you see? It looks much better, right? But now on this one we will actually apply this color, this creamy color, and see how that one will look. Also, this paintbrush is a bit rough because I was using it for some other paint, so it dried up a bit. Even though I washed it, it still feels a bit harder than regular brush. So which one looks better, the gray one or the creamy one? Honestly, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna now try the gray one directly on the one without the base color, so just the color of the glue, right? Even though I think that you are not supposed to do this with darker color. Yeah, there is really not much happening, to be honest. I mean, it looks a bit different, but not significant. Let me try the other one, the creamy one. Yeah. Nothing special, you see. I will take the green one now and see how that will look. I don't know. I think that green color should be used only on certain spots to kind of imitate moss growing on the background. Yeah, I think that this definitely looks worse than just plain this black with other colorations. Okay, but that is why we are doing this experiment, to determine which one looks the best. Now, creamy color on the gray background. Not so sure. It looks like black is just the best for the base. Although we will see which one is the best combination with the substrate. Yeah, that's the question. Let's add some moss spots here. Does this make any sense? I'm not sure, to be honest. Just green directly on the gray. Not impressed. It seems like the best one is like this combination of black with creamy. Also black with gray. I think the catch is background needs to be dark, and that's it. Let's apply a bit of green one on the black one with the creamy thingy, like here in the corner. It looks all right, right? Now I will let everything dry, and then we can put it inside of the enclosures and rehouse these buggers. So one final time jump, and I realized that I first need to glue the backgrounds to the back of the enclosures before I can set them up. And I actually recorded that because I didn't press record. So yeah, I did that, nothing special. I used the expanding foam to apply it to the back and just squeeze the backgrounds on the back. If you are doing that with the expanding foam, make sure that you have the low expansion one, because otherwise regular expanding foam will just push the background away. Also, in the same time, I'm recording the Thrixopelma Emilia time lapse, so I need to hurry back to that. This will now be final time jump, and now we can check out the backgrounds in the actual enclosures. These are all, and I can say that by far black ones look better, although in one that will house the predatory beetle I will have sand, so for that one of the gray ones should fit better, most likely this one. Yeah, I'm not sure, but now let me fill them up with the substrate and then we can proceed. Also, I will place some plants in the black ones. First one will be for the centipede, second one will be for the predatory beetle. Then inside of this I will put the parahibana. Inside of this, or no, in this one I will put the balfouri. Then in this one I will put parahibana and also the plant. And in this one, the last one, the mature male, I forgot the species name. So a bit of substrate time. I'm gonna grab the sand, and this is not the sand for the texture, this is sand for the sand. I'm gonna take out all the enclosures, and we can start with top one, the mature male. This pretty little boy, I'm gonna reuse his corkbark stuff. Okay, he's alright. Compress the substrate a bit. He doesn't really need height because, you know, mature males, they scout around to find the females, so they are not really actively hiding. And I will just rehouse him like this. Oh, what was that? You don't really need to be mad, because you're actually getting a prettier enclosure. Yeah, a bit more spacious, but mostly prettier. Where are you going? Alright, first one is inside. All I need is to put the top in and close the enclosure. There we go. This one was super simple. Now for second one we need a plant, because that one will be for Lasiodora difficilis male, and I will actually reuse his hide. That one just goes in like this, something like this, and the plant, just a standard pothos plant, although I should definitely get a wider variety of plants for my tarantula enclosures, because I mostly have these plants and all the enclosures look the same. But I'm hoping that once I set up this enclosure, I should be able to grow a lot of different plants inside for these enclosures. That should actually be a bonus. So in you go. Now the Mr. Tarantula. Yeah. There we go, little buddy. Oh, that was a double hair kicking action. He was actually showing off. I'm gonna try to get his label. Yeah, that means I don't need to print new one. Winning. Oh, but I actually forgot sand for the texture, so just a little bit of that while Tarantula is inside. No, 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 no. Go back in, please. Yeah, sand makes your enclosure prettier, you know. Leaves, a bit of leaves, but just a few, you see. Black, black, black. And that one will go behind. There we go. And once again you are trying to escape. The top, and we are done. Boom. But background definitely doesn't look good, just like in this one. Only black from now on for sure. This enclosure is for Monocentropus balfouri, So therefore no height, but just anchoring points. So he will be able to do his magic. You see this magic. Maybe I can just take all of that and put it inside of this. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Although I'm hoping that he will stay in the, yeah, just as I wanted, that he stays inside of the tub. So I just put that inside of this enclosure and couple of holes, additional holes, and he can go inside. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, they are a bit more bolty. He is now under the table, you see. I need a catch cup. Okay, that was fairly easy. Great. You actually now have a familiar spot in this enclosure, so you can just go inside of that tunnel. Yeah, I think that... No, quickly set up the top. Look. He figured it out, but I think that he cannot really fit inside because the tunnels are a bit collapsed, so he will need to redo them, but that shouldn't be a problem for him. This means 3 down and 2 to go. And beetle rehouse should be extremely simple, but I also think that centipede won't possess any real danger or problem. Also, we are going to reuse the beetle's rock. So that one will go just like that. And a bit of substrate, so we can mix it up, and more. And I think I missed a couple of branches, so I'll just take this one. Just stick it inside, and there we go. Already looks better. Hey beetle, are you down for some action? I can probably catch it with my finger, right? Like, oh, although they can bite, you know, they have strong jaw, but yeah, there we go. Enjoy new enclosure. Ah, that one looks much better. You see now, I dislike that the line between substrate and the background is so defined, but it definitely looks better than when I have the same background inside of enclosure with regular substrate. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now let's deal with the last one. Look, and there is actually a lateralis roach still alive inside. I'm gonna take this cork bark. She's not actually underneath, so that means that she is inside of her tunnels. She actually made tunnels. My big centipedes never try to dig and build some sort of tunnel network, but this one, you see these entrances, these are all tunnel network entrances, and she just moves in between them, which is pretty cool. Also plant leaves and the sand for the texture, of course. It looks great, right? Now to get the centipede, first we need to figure out where exactly she is. Somewhere, oh, there she is. See? Right here. And I guess I can just try and do something like... No. There we go. That was the idea. So, Mrs. Centipede, enjoy your enclosure. Once again, please build an extensive network. So, oh, and she's actually already starting to squeeze in between the background. And actually, you see, there is a hole, so she'll probably reach that easily. I mean, she can probably reach that easily. But that is it. Now let me close it off so we can compare all the enclosures together. Which background you think looks the best? It's the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, or fifth one? Write it in the comments. Don't rate it based on the appeal of the actual enclosure, but rate it based on the fact how the background looks. Yeah, because definitely black ones look the best. But to be honest, it's fun how all look a bit different. Yeah, nice variety actually. I'm gonna take them to their spot and then we can finish this video. And voila, the wall is almost complete. I only miss a couple of enclosures, even though I'm not building new ones until I'm ready for the mass production. Most of these enclosures are full, while top arboreal ones are mostly empty because I just don't have arboreal ones that are big enough for these enclosures to fill them up. And as I said, I need to build a special enclosures for these sand spiders and also for the ants. Hopefully I will be able to feed them in glass enclosures, but yeah, I need to figure some stuff out. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel more, there's a Patreon page. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I upload every Monday and sometimes on Friday. So see you again soon. Bye.